2 days ago, we had got you stories from 5 countries, different stakeholders making one demand: make China pay. Tonight, we have more names on that list from across the world. We are starting with Australia. It is emerging as one of the most forceful critics of China. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has made an announcement. He called for an independent review into the coronavirus pandemic, a global investigation backed by members of the World Health Organization.
We will need an independent inquiry that looks at what has occurred here so we can learn the lessons. Now, there will be debates about the timing of that. We are in the middle of dealing with the pandemic right now, and I understand some of the hesitations that have been expressed about the timing of that particular inquiry. Our purpose here is just pretty simple. We'd like the world to be safer when it comes to viruses. It seems like a pretty honest ambition that I'm sure most people in the world would agree with. So it'd be great if we could achieve that, and that's the spirit in which we're pursuing this, and I would certainly hope that any other nation, be it China or anyone else, would share that objective.
This has been brewing for a week now. Australia's Foreign Minister Marise Payne had raised this demand first. The Prime Minister backed her. Here is why Australia's decision is significant. Australia wants to push for the probe at the World Health Assembly. This is the decision-making body of the WHO. Australia sits on the executive board of this assembly, a body that determines WHO policies and appoints the Director General. The World Health Assembly will meet on the 17th of May. We'll track for you what happens there. Australia might also get some support from its neighbour, New Zealand. Deputy Prime Minister of New Zealand has backed the demand for an investigation. Winston Peters says he backs a totally comprehensive world-class investigation into the origin of the coronavirus. He said he's surprised that China is not, quote-unquote, welcoming it themselves. I'm not sure if he's being sarcastic. I wouldn't be able to say it with a straight face. Why won't China welcome an investigation themselves? We all wonder, don't we? Anyway, more politicians are speaking out. Nikki Haley among them. She may be out of the Trump administration, but she's back in action now. The former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations has started an initiative. She has launched a petition demanding an investigation against China in America. It is called Stop Communist China. It has a website too. The petition has a large list of demands. Nikki Haley wants the US Congress to investigate China for the coronavirus outbreak. She wants them to bring back manufacturing of medicines and pharmaceuticals to America. Make China pay at the United Nations and other international organizations. Step up American support to Taiwan, especially for a membership to the World Health Organization. There's also a demand for American universities. Nikki Haley wants universities in the US to disclose all funding from China. These are bold proposals and much needed. Finally, and this is very interesting, some Italian NGOs are considering a lawsuit against China too. And we were a bit surprised when we saw this report because it's China's state mouthpiece, the Global Times, that's reporting it. The headline was a bit misleading. This is actually a criticism of these NGOs planning the lawsuits. China calls these NGOs attention seekers. Global Times has named 2 NGOs, One Europe and Codacons. They're both considering class action lawsuits. Such lawsuits are gaining a lot of traction. And we've seen a couple of them in America. Separately, the state of Missouri has also sued China. China, we know, enjoys sovereign immunity. So these lawsuits may not amount to very much. But they certainly reflect the growing public anger against China across the world.